Welcome to Suno Sports Podcast. Today we have a special guest named Ali Al Jeshi. He is based in Dubai, a football promoter, a football trainer, and a talent scout. He scouts the talent from all over the world and especially from underdeveloped countries. He recently visited Pakistan and selected a player and moved him to Dubai and now gave him a contract. There are so many stories we need to listen from Ali Al Jeshi. So, Ali Al Jeshi, welcome to my show. Welcome to our podcast. If I pronounced correctly, is it Ali Al Jeshi?
Yeah, yeah, very good. Very close. Al Jishi, yes.
Ali Al Jishi. All right. Ali, I have heard so many things about you that you have been talent scouting for so many years. So, I would like to ask, how did you start?
Look, I was an ex-player and I was an ex-coach. So as a coach, you're always scouting, really. So it comes with the job. You're always looking for new players, new talent. The going global to look for talent started really as the UAE market started to open up. I started working in football in Dubai in 2012. By approximately 2018, Dubai was getting a lot of interest from abroad, mainly from Africa. They were coming to Dubai looking for opportunities. So it really started from there. You start to look at talent outside the local pool, which is always necessary.
You're working especially in underdeveloped countries such as African continent and especially in Pakistan where football is having a hard time as a game, I would say. So how you scout talent in these countries where football as a game really struggles?
Yeah, good question. And actually, look, going to I'll give you an interesting insight. So going to these countries are off the radar, is what they're saying. Is actually more fruitful for us than going to the normal countries. So, for example, we were supposed to be in Hungary at the end of this month to do a scouting tour, but the demand wasn't there. They're not interested in leaving the country. So going to countries like Pakistan is actually more beneficial to us. Now, to answer your question, look, you're looking for something different. So if we take the last time we were in Pakistan, we were in Pakistan this March. I don't know if you followed. And we picked up a really good, talented football player there who has obviously got what it takes, just needs to be in the right program. So coming to these countries that are off the radar works better for us than going to European countries, for example. So yeah, we look for talent anywhere you can find it. But these countries are been very good to us.
Ali, to connect the question, how do you find the talent? Is there any set rules or procedures? I mean, what qualities do you find?
The formula in football is the same wherever you go. They look for 4 points generally. I'll give you the 4 points. Number one, they're looking for the physical aspect because if you bring in players from anywhere in the world, they have to be physically strong to be able to compete professional football. The second thing you look for is, of course, technical ability. At this level, you need to have people that can play a good level of football. You're not looking at people to learn football. Tactical is something, especially when you come to Pakistan or Africa or India, even some countries in Asia, where the player has to have a certain level of tactical knowledge. But if you ask me, we look for somebody that can play different. You know? So you want somebody that plays unusual, somebody that plays out of the box, somebody that has natural ability. That's what you're looking for. You don't look for the regular things that you can get in Dubai, for example. We look for something unusual, and that's what I look for.
That's perfect. Now, I want you to explain this. What inspired you to scout the talent internationally?
Look, there's two things. There's obviously, as an ex-football player, that never really made it to the highest level. I have a passion to help people that couldn't, that can't make it or don't have the opportunities to make it. So there's an emotional connection to this. But from a selfish point of view, everybody in football is the same. Everybody in football is looking for the next Messi, whether you can find him in Lahore or whether you can find him in Buenos Aires. Everybody's looking for that diamond in football. So from a football selfish point of view, we're all looking for that next superstar. I can only ask you the question, can you imagine the next big star if he came from Pakistan? What that will do for Pakistan. So that's one of the football reasons. But the emotional reason is I'm a football player. I'm a football coach. I'm a football man. If I can give somebody the chance to go where I couldn't go, I'd love to be able to do that.
I have heard you offer good contracts to player. What types of contracts these are?
No, no. For me, my club and what I do in Dubai is give players wherever they come from. If you looked at our team from last year, we had 19 nationalities from Europe, Asia, and Australia and Africa. I give you the first step on the ladder. So for me as a technical director, I have a very structured package. Okay, so we don't pay the highest salaries, and I think this is a very important point and a good question that you asked. A young football player earning his first contract should not be offered silly money. And this is what they do in Europe, and this is how they ruin football players. So we give a very good contract, but more importantly, when I speak to football players, before you today, I had a phone call with a guy in New Zealand, and my question to him: are you after a career or a salary? I offer you a career. So to offer you a career, I give you a contract that all your expenses are covered, all your needs are met, and we give you a salary and match bonuses. So I would say it's a fair contract. It's not, you're not going to be a millionaire when you earn your first contract. What you want is the opportunity to become a millionaire in football, and this is what we will give you. So it's a very good package. You come to Dubai and everything is paid for you, including your physio and including your psychologist and everything. So this is what we offer, plus salary, plus bonuses, because everybody offers.
Well, it's good to hear that you offer a career to a player, not the bag of dollars.
Yeah, I can assure you, there's teams in our division last year who offered really big money to young football players. I think that's wrong. I think all you do is ruin the player. If you're going to earn $5,000, $10,000 in your first contract, what motivates you to go up? What motivates you to play more and do more? I think it's wrong. I think you got to give them the facility. For us as a club, we invest a lot of money in what we call the team behind the team. As you know, as a football player, there's a famous saying in English that it takes a tribe to raise a child, okay, or a village. It definitely takes a tribe to make a football player. So if you're a football player and I give you a salary, a very good salary, and leave you to it, or if you are a football player and I give you a good salary, basic salary, plus a physio, a psychologist, a strength and conditioning coach, an English teacher, health, insurance, visa, which one is better? It's obvious. I give you the package to make you a football player.
As we know, sports is being promoted in the Gulf region. We have a FIFA World Cup recently in Qatar. Then we have Saudi Al Nasser club, which has Cristiano Ronaldo in it. These are some prime examples. But Dubai is a bit different. Is there any challenges you faced in Dubai?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, look, when I first moved to Dubai, there was no pathways, there was no bridges between the expat community and the professional community, professional football clubs. And that was a problem because when you come to a city like Dubai, that's 90% expats, whether it's Pakistanis or Arabs or Europeans, and don't have access to the professional game, it's a problem. This was a big challenge. But what I'd say is in the last 4 years, they've created these new divisions where we play in. And there's an interesting statistic. UAE before COVID had 34 professional teams. Now they have 68 professional teams. So that tells you the expansion that's happened in the UAE in the last 4 years. And this is a great initiative by the federation. And this is a question I think Pakistan will have to follow. That if there's no vision and there's no plan, there is no football. UAE is taking the lead in the Gulf. You rightly say that Saudi Arabia has obviously gone for the big names and the big league, and even the second league is a very, very good league. UAE is taking a different angle, which is about youth development and uncovering talent. And this Division 2, Division 3 in UAE, that's exactly what they're doing. In our division, we are allowed to sign 30 foreign players. There's no country in the world that allows you to sign 30 foreign players. So it makes it the perfect scouting project. And this is what's happening in the UAE. So now it's not a challenge, but when we first arrived, yes, it was a big challenge. A lot of the young, talented kids, like in Pakistan, had nowhere to go, nowhere to play.
Moving forward, how do you see the future of football in Pakistan, where cricket is the most loved game?
The simple answer is follow what happened with the cricket. What you guys have done in the cricket is exceptional. For a country as good as Pakistan, they've done a brilliant program in the cricket, and it's one of the best cricket playing countries in the world. The same has to be applied in football. The second most popular sport in Pakistan is football. Now, when you talk to the football people in Pakistan, they always tell you there is no hope and there is no future in football in Pakistan. I say, look at what happened in the cricket. Just replicate it. You need people who have the invested interest in developing football in Pakistan at the right levels. As you know, Pakistan is sometimes complicated. And when they apply what happened in cricket, Pakistan will be a force in Asia because the level of love for the game is huge in Pakistan. I've seen it with my own eyes. So once there is a program applied and a plan, a 10-year plan or 5-year plan or any plan, you will see that the football in Pakistan will rise and rise very fast.
Do you have any communication with the Pakistan Football Federation?
We are, I mean, I can confidentially tell you we're engaged now, but a couple of years ago when we first arrived to Pakistan, there was a shift. There was some turmoil going on in the federation 2 years ago. So there was no federation, then there was a federation. I think now there's a process going to put the new people to lead the federation. So we've engaged with them on and off. We have some kind of engagement also with the national team. You have, I believe, a British coach or English coach. I'm from the UK. So not fully engaged, but it's coming.
Okay, so what is your strategy in, training the grassroots level, and how important is the development at that level?
Yeah, good question. Very good question. I mean, look, if you look at the history of TFA, actually TFA stands for the Football Academy. That's what it stands for. So we started as a football school. So we are a very grassroots-based club. And it's simple. It's taking very talented athletes from a very, very young age, and you put them through a process. Whether you do it at a national team level like Pakistan or a club like TFA, you need a good curriculum, you need good coaches, you need good methodology, you need equipment, you need facilities, but more importantly, you need people that care. There are specific number of coaches wherever you go in the world that really care about the development of football. Okay, and don't forget, for us as PFA, we always say football is an education. Whether you study math, English, or science, football is also an education. So a coach that uses football as an education for 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds, you will develop football players, whether you're in Pakistan or on Mars. Give me young, talented, passionate athletes. I'll give you a proper football.
Now, I would like you to share some memorable events you have had recently while scouting the talent.
Look, you see it a lot. And look, I mean, first of all, you have to be honest in this process because you go to different countries, you see hundreds of players, and 100 don't make it. So the first thing I always do is give my time to give feedback to players. As good as wanting to be scouted is to know whether you have it or don't have it. But I would say one of my most memorable ones is when we went to South Africa a few years back. We did a tour in Johannesburg, and in the final game, the guy that eventually won scored a goal that, if it was on television, it would be one of the best goals we've ever seen. And that's a special moment. I thought, okay, this guy, um, to take your opportunity like that, you come for hundreds of players trial, you get to the final game and score a goal like that. It's a really, whether he makes it to the top level or not, this is a moment he'll never forget. And another time in South Africa, when we announced the winner, the mother fell to the ground, literally fell to the ground, and started thanking God. So these are things you'll never forget. These are moments that you think, what we do really impacts lives. So this was two brilliant moments I can share with you.
Ali, there is a common trend. When you aim for something big, expectations gets bigger too, and so is the pressure. So, how much pressure do you have on your shoulders when you scout the talent and when you train them?
No. To be honest with you, no. I mean, I'm getting old now, so I'm not a young guy. I've been through life. The one thing I always do is I'm very honest, because, a lot of these young boys, you have to understand you're handling people's dreams here. A football player is a passion job. It's a dream job. So you're handling people's dreams and you have to handle them with care. But I'm also very honest and I have to be very honest. If you ask me, the hardest part of my job is when we have to release people or when we have to tell people they're not good enough. That's a very difficult thing to have to do. But you have to be fair, honest, and clear with your communications. And I'm always like that. If I don't tell you the truth, I'm lying to you, I'm selling you a fake dream. I cannot do that. So that's where the pressure comes from. The pressure, if you ask me, is because in football, I suppose like any business, but football in particular, you come across people who are not very nice. They're not honest, they're not appreciative, they lie, they cheat. The difficult part is that you don't let them influence you or change you, and I don't allow that. Because if you do that, they win. So I think that's the pressure. The pressure is that you don't become too hard or too bitter on judging people or being cynical. That's where I feel the pressure. But the pressure of the job, no, the job is the job. You have to discover talent and promote it and develop it. And if they don't have the talent, they don't have it.
Now, as we are moving towards conclusion, I would like you to share a success story of a player which you have been recently picked.
Well, last year we had a really good success story, and I always used it. So we went to Malaysia this time last year in the summer, and we had a young boy who's half Malaysian, half Chinese, I believe. Daniel, his name was. You can find him on social media. He attended our trial, and he had just failed the trial at Johor. Johor is one of the biggest clubs in Malaysia. So he went there for trial. Didn't take him. He came to our trial. We picked him up, and he came to Dubai and spent 12 months with us. And like every Asian player, the problem was physical. He needed a lot of work physically. So this guy, Daniel, spent 6 months with us in the reserves or the second team. After 6 months, he broke into the first team, or we promoted him to the first team. Spent a few games on the bench, then spent a few minutes, and then he scored in the final game for the first team. And this was a perfect story of what we can do. And the last I heard, because his contract finished with us, he is going to be signed by Johor, where he failed last year. So that's a perfect success story for you. Pick up the kid, you work with him, you develop him, and he goes back to where he belongs or where he wants to go. So I wish him luck, and I hope they do sign him.
Now, last but not the least, Ali, what do you advise or suggest to the youngsters who are really trying to put their feet in professional football?
Yeah, sure. It's a great question to finish with. I mean, look, there's a lot of people that tell you that you're lucky. They believe in this concept of luck. Now, as a professional and as a grown man, I don't believe in luck. There's no luck. So you'll talk to a lot of people that will tell you Muhammad Salah, for example, is lucky to make it at Liverpool. No, this guy's not lucky. So what we define lucky in football is when prepared meets opportunity. Okay? If you are prepared, the opportunity will come. If you're unprepared, the opportunity will pass. We call it lucky and unlucky. So this boy in Malaysia, he doesn't attend our trial. We don't give him the opportunity. He wasn't lucky. Okay? In the same context, we gave him the opportunity. He came to Dubai and worked for 12 months and became very good and broke into the first team and scored for the first team. He wasn't lucky. He just worked for the opportunity and it came. So don't believe in luck, whether you're in Pakistan, Lahore, Layari boys, we hear it all the time, the mountains of Pakistan. It's impossible to become a football player. If you're good and you work and you go looking for the opportunity, you will find it. There's no luck.
It's been a wonderful session and a motivational one too. So, thank you, Ali, for your time.